All right, guys, I am back from the NAWCQ Ultimate Time Wizard Tournament um, in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm gonna go over the top 8 deck lists and how my weekend went, my tournament report. I do that after every major event that I attend for Edison format. But um, one thing I want to go over is why I chose to play over in the Ultimate Time Wizard Tournament over the RBT. Because I actually didn't make my decision until like Friday night. I remember people asked me for a couple of weeks which tournament I was going to play in. And I told them it would come down to the giant card. And I asked a lot of people that on both sides, like, why did you choose the RBT over the Ultimate Time Wizard? Why did you choose Ultimate Time Wizard over the RBT? So I showed up on Friday and I heard that it was Darkened Dragon was the giant card. And they were supposed to give an Exciton Knight for the Day 2 Attack of the Giant card, which was supposed to be hat format. But they completely messed up. Apparently, they forgot. They didn't bring the Exciton Knight. So instead, when I got there on Friday, I even went up to the guy at the front and I asked him, which one is for Ultimate Time Wizard? He said, Darkened Dragon is for Ultimate Time Wizard and Pot of Greed is for hat. And I was kind of like, oh man, it made my decision tough. And I had already paid for the RBT. I was registered and everything, but Darken is like the only copy in the world, and it's an iconic, arguably the most iconic extra deck monster because it's the original prize card for the SJC Edison. So I was kind of like, yeah, I want to play for this, so I'm gonna play for the Darkened Dragon. Another reason was some of you guys have been watching my channel for a while know that I got first and second the previous 2 Ultimate Time Wizard tournaments in Indianapolis, so I kind of wanted to see, could I do it a third time, at least make the finals. Came close, was 2 matches short, so that was another reason why I chose the Ultimate Time Wizard. And also, I'm going to another RBT in 2 weeks. I'm going to Santa Clara, and I'm probably going to go to Chicago, so I'm kind of like, there'll be another RBT soon. So I heard there's a rumor that we might get one in Dallas as well, so it's kind of like, yeah, let me join the Ultimate Time Wizard. And then also, Konami is so unpredictable, like with what they did this weekend. So what if they do go through with the decision to revert Ultimate Time Wizard tournaments to the time travel version? This might have been the last one with the old rules, so last chance for me to potentially, get another Ultimate Time Wizard win. So, yeah, that was a few of the reasons. So yeah, before I get to my tournament, let's go over the top 8 deck lists real quick. So these are listed based on standings after Swiss, not who won the tournament. So first, we're going to go over Nicholas Wagner, who was undefeated up until the finals. I actually faced Nick at the Attack of the Giant card in Vegas, where you can see that mini Tengu right there. He ended up getting the Giant one. He beat me in the final, so I'm pretty sure he used a similar list. Because I remember when I faced him in the finals, I was like, I'm pretty sure this guy doesn't play Dupe Frog. And then a couple of his friends or teammates, they went to YCS Houston, and 2 of them topped with a similar list. Now, I like their list because they're playing Upstart, first of all. And also, their deck is not weak to deck dev. But me, personally, I like to at least have one Dupe Frog in the deck just to have the option to go get it. I know I get it. You don't want to even give them the chance, but it's still a good option to have. They're not always going to draw deck dev. Me personally, I would just play one Dupe Frog. So let's look at this list: 3 Kai's, 2 Treeborn, 1 Stratos, 1 Ocean, 1 Prodigy, 1 Alias, 1 Gorge, 1 Death Frog, 3 Sub, 1 Malicious Edge, 3 Swap Frog, 2 Ryza. So they bumped up the Ryza. You also notice no Junk Synchron in this deck, probably because they're not trying to make their deck weak. So Zach and I've talked about this a lot lately. Even my own locals people are performing well with Eric Shen's Sizzle 41 list that he made the standard, and it's taken off on Storm. So if you go up against Value Turbo, most likely they're going to be playing 2 deck dev in their main deck. So if your deck is weak to deck dev and you're going to a big tournament, you have to have that in your mind game 1. Because game 1 is so huge. Do you want to just auto lose the deck dev game 1? So I like that they're prepared for it. So spells: 1 Rhoda, 3 Miracle, 3 Upstart, 1 MST, 2 Eco Heavy Brain Control. So one thing I've always said, one of the weaknesses in Frog Hero is sometimes you draw dead miracles, but if you look at how many targets they have, they play 2 Eco, Rhoda, and I think 5 heroes, so that's 8 targets. It's a good number, so they probably don't draw miracles dead that often. So I really, really like this list. Trap cards: 2 Deep Prison, 1 Dust Shoot, 3 Regeki Break, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Torrential. This list is solid. The only thing that I would change was I would throw the Dupe Frog in there and maybe cut a trap card, maybe only 1 Deep Prison. I think they're playing a little bit too many traps, but that's it. Outside of that, I think this list is really solid. I know I faced Robert Scarpelli in the tournament, and I'm pretty sure he was using this exact same list, and I barely beat him. I got really lucky, so we'll get there eventually. All right, extra deck, standard Frog Hero extra deck, except maybe the 2 Gaia. You don't normally see that. Extra deck kind of doesn't matter, especially because they're not on Junk Synchron. Now the side deck is the important part. So 3 Vanity's Fiend, 1 Flip Flop, 2 Bottomless, 1 Dupe. Okay, so they do side the dupe. Okay, that's cool. That's interesting. 1 Dust, 1 Solemn Judgment, 1 Deep Prison, 3 Needle Ceiling, and 2 False Dyna. So it's interesting that they put Solemn Judgment in their side deck because I did the same thing last time I played Frog Hero on stream. And the reason I do is because in any Frog Mirror match, it comes down to like you just drop Vanity's Fiends, and I guess that he's doing False Dyna. The only person I've ever seen do the False Dyna was Fitz. He topped, like, I think one of the ARGs in Vegas, the ARG/PPG event. And yeah, I think this is solid. Like, you just go Vanity Fiend, Solemn, because they usually have 1 out to your Vanity Fiend, and you just Solemn it. So the 3 Needle Ceiling, they must be for like Gigavice. Maybe he's a little afraid of Gigavice. Yeah, pretty solid side deck. So congrats, Nick. I actually thought he was going to win because he was hot. I was thinking, now this guy, because when I played him, he played phenomenally against me in the finals. My friends were even glazing him up a little bit that he got me really good when he held the trap dust shoot against me. Even my friends don't like to give anyone credit. When they watched him beat me in the finals, they were like, that dude played nice. And I think because in the semifinals, he beat my one of my close friends, Cam, the two-time YCS champion, Cam the Man. Yeah, I remember my friend Randy said that he made Cam look like a rookie, but Cam doesn't really play much Edison. Yeah, congrats to him. I thought he was going to win, but he got second. Apparently, he won game 1. And I didn't watch the finals, but you've seen the power of this deck. They had 2 of their guys in top 8 at Houston, and now he almost won the whole thing. All right, second place was Adam Jerome Mann. He ended up winning the whole thing with Black Wings. So his Black Wing list is like standard. This is the standard Black Wing list. So you look at this: 1 Gale, 1 Dad, 3 Bora, 3 Shura, 1 Gores, 3 Soroka, 1 Vayu, 3 Blizzard Kalute. Standard. Brain Heavy, 2 Whirlwind, MST Allure. Now 15 traps is a lot, but he's on the 3 Yada, which I know people think that I hate Yada, but I think in Black Wings, in the mirror match, is decent. I personally still prefer Upstart. I know the life points matter in Black Wings a little bit, but I just don't like Yada. But I can see the value of you don't want to give your opponent life points, and it's pretty good in the mirror match. But like I've run a similar list to this, except my Yadas are Upstart. So yeah, nothing too special. Just a really high trap count though. 1 Dust in the main is probably like the only thing that's not too standard. Extra deck is standard. I don't see anything that stands out. Except the 1 Armor Master. What did he replace the 1 Armor Master with? Mistworm, probably. Yeah, but how often does the 2nd Armor Master come up? I'm not sure. Side deck, 2 Rug, 1 Fissure, 2 Deck Dev. So he's on the 3 full Dust Tornado, 2 in the main, 2 in the side, 1 in the main. 1 Dark Illusion, 2 Cyber Dragon, 2 Royal Oppression, 1 Breaker, 1 DD Crow, and 1 Nobleman. Breaker's interesting. The only thing is, I think maybe he needs a little more outs to Consecrated Light, but that's about it. Pretty solid list. All right. 3rd place, Nicholas Arthur. Oh, this is the Dark Calling deck. So this guy, he had the most interesting deck probably of the week, and I didn't see the top 16 deck list for the RBT. I'm pretty sure E3 Yu-Gi-Oh is going to upload the deck list soon. I wasn't there, so I didn't get any deck lists. I got Ryan Eyes because he's from my area and he was hanging out with us, so I was able to get his list. And let's look at this one. Again, this guy started off 7-0, lost the last round of Swiss, and then woke up for day 2. And I'm gonna talk. Okay, I need to remember to talk about that, about the UTW versus RBT. So I'm gonna go over that here in a second. See what you guys think. So 2 Honest, I think because he plays 3 Prisma. 1 Ocean, 1 Jiu-Jitsu Master, 1 Stratos, 1 Cyro Dragon, 1 Grand Mole, 2 Malicious Edge, 1 DD Warrior Lady, 2 Big Piece Golem Gores, 1 Snowman, 1 MST, 2 Miracle, 3 Dark Calling, 1 Heavy, 1 Future Fusion, 1 E-Call, 1 Rhoda. Pretty high trap count. 1 Solemn, 1 Starlight Road, triple Dimensional Prison, 2 Bottomless. Does shoot 2 Discard Traps, 1 Bri, 1 Wing Blast. Oh, he plays 1 of each. That's interesting, and 1 Mirror Force. I don't know about this deck, but it's interesting. Honestly, I saw him sitting next, because the last round of Swiss on the bubble, he was playing against Nick. They were both undefeated. They were both guaranteed top 8, right? And I was sitting next to them. I was at table 2. And I saw him, and I looked over. I was like, "What the heck? How's this? Am I how's this guy undefeated, right?" But I'm thinking like I kind of don't want to play against him because I don't have oppression in my main deck, so he could just kill me out of nowhere. I've faced this deck at locals a few times, and it is scary. Now, if I had royal oppression in my main deck, I wouldn't be as afraid. But without it, yeah, I would have been a little bit afraid of him just killing me out of nowhere. So extra deck, 2 Chimera Tech, 2 regular Gaia, 3 Dark Gaia, 3 Zero, 1 Grand Neos, 1 Multiple Piece Golem, 1 Terra Firma, 1 Malicious Fiend, 1 Stardust. Side deck, 1 Trune, 2 Super Poly, probably for the Frog Hero matchup. 2 Knock, 3 Dyna. Wow, I should have sided 3rd Dyna. I didn't see it enough against the Frog deck, so maybe I should go up to 3. 3 Dust, probably for Blackwing. 2 Shadow Mirror, 1 Cyber Dragon, and 1 Lightning Vortex. Next up is Elijah James Robinson, the guy who beat me in top 8, stopped me from going to 3 straight finals. But he played really well against me, man. He made some really good plays, and I was like, oh, man. I remember in Game 3, we'll get there eventually. He got me, and I was like, yeah, I'm in big trouble. All right, let's look at his deck. 2 Dupe Frog, 1 Sphere of Chaos, or as I like to call it, Chaos Sphere. So I want to mention one thing that was funny, or that Ryan I told me. Out of everyone he played all weekend, I was the only person who didn't have to read Sphere of Chaos, and the reason I didn't have to read it was because I faced Ryan at locals so many times playing that card. So, like, I know its effect. It searches a level 3 monster, any level 3 monster, and once per turn it cannot be destroyed by battle. I remember I attacked him with Greffer, and I just said pass, and he probably, like, I knew it couldn't be destroyed by battle, and probably most people would attack him and, like, confused. Whereas, yeah, I knew exactly what it did. All right, 3 Caius, 1 Battle Fader. He did draw this Battle Fader against me, I remember. I was upset. I think it was game 2, but I think I still won that game. 3 Swap, 1 Cyber Valley. I didn't see this. He didn't draw this card against me. He probably sided it out. 1 Unifrog. I saw it. 3 Sub, 2 Treeborn, 2 Ryza, 1 Junk. I definitely saw that because he searched it with Sphere of Chaos. 2 Dandelion, 2 Lads, and 1 Gorge. I definitely saw the Lad game too because I trapped Dust Shoot him, and he didn't have access to Swap Frog or Treeborn Frog, and I kept the Lad in his hand for sure. All right, Spells, Brain Control, 1 for 1, 2 Soul Exchange. Foolish Burial, Econ, Heavy, and MST. I definitely saw the Soul Exchange game 1. He won the die roll and opened Soul Exchange sub. And Econ, he actually beat me with Econ game 3. All right, trap cards, 3 Regeki Break, 2 Wing Blast. I actually really like this trap lineup. I think this deck, I personally prefer the Frog Hero deck because it can do more than one thing per turn. But this deck is solid. I actually like the only 6 trap cards. You have some defense, but not too much. Yeah, overall, solid list. I personally prefer Frog Hero again because you have an extender and Miracle Fusion is a second play that you can make besides just Caius or Junk. All right, extra deck. It's just a generic extra deck. He plays like 1 of everything. This deck doesn't really go into his extra deck that much. Now let's look at the side deck. Karma Cut, 2 Dust, Flip Flop, 3 Vanity's Fiend, 2 DD Crow that he drew against me, 2 Breaker, he definitely drew that against me. Lightning Vortex, 1 Darkness Spirit, and 2 Book of Moon. So 5th place is my list. Look, mine's up on my channel. Same one I used at the PBG, except 1 card was different, so not much to go over there. Yeah, I'm not even going to go over it. And 6th place this was the second Bayou list, so he is using the Sizzle 41. Like I said, this is like becoming the standard Bayou list. It is the exact same list, except he's playing 40 instead of 41, and he cut the charge of the Light Brigade from his main deck into the side deck. So Greffer, Transmigration, Kaiku. The side deck's a little bit different, but most of the time that's what people do. They copy a deck that does well, and then they look at the side deck kind of like, and they make some tweaks here and there. But like most Bayou lists are all this. Even my friend Mario, he made top 8 at the RBT in Indy this weekend. He used to play at my locals, but he moved to Ohio like a few months ago. And he told me he's playing the Sizzle 41, except like 5 cards different. So like almost all the Bayou, even my list is similar to the Sizzle 41, except like a few cards. Mine's a little bit more different because I play Upstart. But if I didn't play the Upstarts, my deck would be almost identical to the Sizzle 41. It's just, that deck is probably the closest one to being solved. All right. So Greffer, Transmigration, Kaiku, Cold Wave, Charge, 2 Oppression, 2 Cyber, 1 Vortex, 1 Mind Control, 2 Dust. Only 1 Dyna is surprising, and 1 DD Crow. Now, 7th and 8th were the only guys who got in at X, that were worse than X1. These 2 actually were X11, which cost none of the X2s to get in, which was unfortunate. And one of the reasons that people told me why they preferred the Ultimate Time Wizard, and I guess I'll give my opinion on it. Maybe some of you guys in the comments can let me know. some people said they felt the Ultimate Time Wizards are more prestigious than the RBTs, which me personally, I see them, at least for now, about the same. Some people look at RBTs kind of like ARGs, and eventually they stopped hosting ARGs. So maybe the Ultimate Time Wizards tops will be more prestigious down the road. To me, like I said, I look at them equally. So that wasn't a determining factor on which one I wanted to attend. But I will say this: one argument that they do have is that you can get into top cut at an RBT at X2. Now there have been some people who have gone into top 8 at Ultimate Time Wizards at X2, but it's really rare. Most of the I've topped 3 Ultimate Time Wizards, and all 3 times, 2 of the 3 times I went X1. The other time I went X11. So I guess that's one thing that gives Ultimate Time Wizards a little bit more prestige. But if we had reached 256 players, it would have cut the top 16, which I hope we cross that threshold. But even if we do, even if let's say you make top 16 at Ultimate Time Wizard Tournament, you're still only getting a mat. So it really only matters if you get to I guess it's just more so for bragging rights. The real prize is only if you get first, second, and third at an Ultimate Time Wizard. That's the one advantage RBT has versus top 16. You at least get a decent, really, really nice looking mat. So you feel like you get something versus I've been saying this forever. Konami we need to get our own mat. It's ridiculous. I got a freaking Tengu mat that anyone could get at a pod. So I'm still mad about that, but we'll see if Konami eventually listens on that one. Anyway, here we have Andres Torres. I think he stopped playing Modern Yu. I don't really know him. I just know he's won quite a few, couple of YCSs. I think he even won a UDS, but I consider him more of a Modern player. But glad to have Modern players coming over to Edison. Maybe they stop playing Modern because Modern is a game that you have to constantly play or you'll fall behind. That's why I don't play anymore, at least for now. Because, every 3 months there's a new set comes out. Ban list is constantly changing. And it's like, if you're not playing constantly, you'll fall behind. It's just, to do well in that game. Versus in Edison, you can take a little break here and there, come back for a week, get refreshed, and you can do fine at an event. Like my friend Javi, he doesn't play that much Edison, and he'll just show up to a big tournament, play his GB deck, and perform well, which I don't think you can do that in Modern. So that's just my opinion. Now let's look at Andres' deck. 42 cards, which I don't like. Let's see his take on GBs. He actually beat Javi in Indy. Apparently Javi told him he walked into a Starlight Road, which was unfortunate. So 1 Radiari, 1 Hoplomys, 2 Prisma. I like 2 Prisma. I think I'm always afraid when they go Prisma Test Tiger. 1 Bestiari, 1 Murmillo, 3 Test Tiger, 1 Sekitor, 1 Laquari, 1 Cat, 2 Samnite, 2 Quest, 1 Darius. Spell lineup, 3 Book of Moon, 3 Respite. So he's on the Respite too. Okay, that's an interesting. Cold Wave. Heavy. No MST in the main deck. 1 Starlight Road, 2 Bottomless, 2 Compulse, 1 Call, triple Trap Stun, only 1 Chariot. I've never seen that. Most GB lists play at least 2. Triple D Prison, 2 Wabaku, 1 Mirror Force. So he's not playing MST or Dust Tornado. He instead chose to go for the triple trap stun, which kind of makes sense. I've been saying this. The only time you really want MST is against Black Wings because Black Worm. But another thing that's changing is people are cutting Oppression out of their deck. And that's why I feel like you kind of don't really need MST anymore. Why not MST when you can just trap stun all their back row and go off? And it makes sense. That's why he's on the 2 Prisma. So I like his list. The only thing I personally would change was I would find a way to cut down to 40. And I would throw Upstart. So let's get his extra deck. I mean, this is a GB extra deck. They only go into Stardust and Geyseris and Herc. Side deck Brain Control because of the mirror match. 1 Road, 1 of my body, triple Dust Tornado, probably for Black Wings. MST, Mind Control, 2 Cyber, 2 Trap Hole, the second Cherry, and 2 Smashing Ground. All right, Carlos Rafael Fernandez, Diva Hero Beat. This is a deck that I love. I think it's a solid deck. Glad to see it here back in top 8. My friend Ryan, I was joking. He's like, oh, Ultimate Time Wizard is fake because you guys let Diva Hero beat top. It's a good deck, man. I've wanted to play it at a big event myself. Rick Novick, top 2 Ultimate Time Wizard with this deck. It's a good deck. All right, 1 Gilman, 3 Alias, 1 Stratos, 1 Ocean, 1 Bubble Man. 2 Cyber Dragon in the main deck. That's cool. 1 Grand Mole and 3 Deep Sea Diva. One first thing that stands out to me is no Honest. I don't know. I play Honest. That card is so good. All right, spells. 3 Smark, 1 Future Fusion, 3 Miracle, 3 E-Call, Heavy, and Rhoda. I like 3 E-Call in this deck because you got to see Alias or your deck's just, it's hard to win. One thing I actually thought about right now, this deck doesn't need MST either. You really don't. You already have a pretty good Blackwing matchup, and like you kind of want them to use their back rows on you. You want to spark their back rows, like you want them to bottomless you. So, and again, people are kind of pressing out of their deck. So yeah, if I were to play this deck again, I would cut MST out for sure. One Road, one Torrential, one Trap Dusty, two Hero Blast, one Mirror Force, one Solemn. All out on triple D Prison, two Bottomless, two Compose. So extra deck looks standard. Yeah, 3-0, one Gaia, and then the Synchros. Except some people play two Android and some people play two Catastor, but that's about it. Now, side deck, one Starlight Road. Isn't he already main decking one? Probably for Blackwings, yeah. Two Super Poly, two Master Restrict, two Shadow Mirror, one Soul Release, two Light Mirror for Lightsworn. Two Knock, two Consecrated Light, and only one Fossil Dyna. So congrats to everyone who made the top 8. And what else do we need to go over? I guess now we'll just go over the tournament report real quick. I went 7-1. And let's see. So round 1, I get paired against Emerson. I believe he told me he's from Canada. He's friends with like AJT, BLS, and a couple others. I lost a die roll, and he's playing Diva Hero. What do I remember about this match? He played pretty well, but it was like he won game 1, and I came back and Legacy 2-0'd him. And I think I just got him with Dark Arm. I beat him with Oppression game 3. Yeah, that's what happened. I beat him with Oppression game 3. He didn't have an out. Like I dropped my Dark Arm, and then he special summons his Dark Arm, then I flip Oppression. He didn't have an out, so I won that one. Round 2, I won the die roll versus Joseph, also playing Diva Hero. How the heck did I play 2 Diva? I haven't gone up against Diva Hero in forever, and here I am at Indy and played 2 in a row. I won the die roll, and it was a Swift 2. I think he kind of bricked. That's really what happened. He didn't draw it too well, and I think that's all I remember. Round 3, I went up against, I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's like Geoxin. I won the die roll, and it was a 2-0. The only thing that was interesting was game 2. We were playing, and he's shuffling his hand, and he accidentally dropped the card, and I saw it. It was a Trap Dust Shoot. He thought I saw a Kaiku, and then he sets like 2 back rows, right? He's playing Frog Hero, and he doesn't shotgun the Trap Dust Shoot, and I'm like thinking, why is this guy not shotgunning the Trap Dust Shoot? I know you have it. And after he didn't shotgun it, I just set everything. I was like, I'm going to just set 4 back row. If you draw the heavy, oh well. But if you don't draw the heavy, your Treeborn is going to be locked for the rest of the game. So that's exactly what happened. He didn't draw the heavy. His back rows were locked. He could never bring back Treeborn. And after the match, he was telling me, he's like, man, how did you... And then it kind of clicked on his head. Did you see my Trap Dust Shoot? I was like, yeah. And then he thought, during the match, he was like thinking, how does this guy know I have Trap Dust Shoot? That's what happens. You got to be careful, man. Don't accidentally drop a card, because your opponent will take full advantage, as I did there. And then round 4, I go up against Mark playing a Diva Hero. I won the die roll, and I won game 1, but he came back and Legacy 2-0'd me. And I remember thinking, man, what the heck is going on? I'm playing against 4 Miracle Fusion decks. And some people may argue, oh, you should have main decked Royal Oppression. But in my head, I'm expecting to run into Vayu Turbo eventually, and the deck is probably the most... That and Black, one of the 2 most played decks. It's just my bracket is just like unfortunate that I'm went up against 4 Miracle Fusion decks, but I'm still winning game 1s. It didn't matter. I don't think... Except round 1, I lost game 1. But against Mark, this was like... I made a mistake. I got really greedy. And I think I could have won the 3rd game, but... I had like Solemn Judgment, Bottomless, and Royal Oppression set, and a Stardust face up. And he goes, normal summon Kaiku. And I thought, what is this guy trying to do? Now, he had a Plague in the graveyard, right? So I'm like, should I just Bottomless this Kaiku? I was like, nah, you know what? I'll just let it go. I let it go. Then he goes, Lightning Vortex, which I didn't see coming. And I could have either A, negated with Stardust, or B, Solemn the Lightning Vortex. I should have just Solemn the Lightning Vortex. Instead, I got greedy. Negated with Stardust. He attacks me with Kaiku. Banishes my Stardust. And then I actually didn't have an out to the Kaiku. But eventually I drew into Sirocco, so I go normal summon Sirocco. He compulsed it. I chose not to solemn. Next turn, I resummon the Sirocco, attack him, and he deprisons. And this time I'm forced to solemn, and then he has Heavy Storm, and I come back and lose. So that was a big mistake. And I remember I was kicking myself. And I was thinking about it too. I should just solemn this Lightning Vortex. And I don't know. I just got greedy. I just didn't think clearly. And it cost me that game. And I was like, oh man, now I have to win. Again, this is Ultimate Time Wizard. I have to go X1. It adds more pressure. That's one thing why I do agree why the Ultimate Time Wizards are a little bit more prestigious. Because like right now, I'm X1 now. If I lose one more, I'm basically out. Versus if it was at the R bet, I could maybe win. Let's say I win 3 more and lose the last round, I still have a good chance to make top cut. So it's good and bad. And when it comes to because like I have topped the one RBT, even though we didn't play out top cut, but I went X2. I started off 4-0, lost round 5 and 6, won the last 2, and I had the tiebreakers to make top 16. So yeah, just let me know if you guys in the comments, what do you think? Because a lot of people I talked to, one of the reasons they told me why they chose the UTW was because they felt it was more prestigious. But in my opinion, they're about equal. Round 5, I won the die roll against Jose from Houston, Texas. I think I saw him when I went to one of the big monthlies in Houston. I saw him there, but I didn't meet him or play against him. He was playing Machina, and game 1 was a long, grindy game. This matchup between Vayu and Machina is just a grind. You know, thanks to Pot of Avarice, I was able to barely win game 1, and game 2 he destroyed me. But game 3, I remember time. Like, we were going to game 3, he had 6 minutes left, so obviously I took out Solemn, took out Upstarts, and I had to make a play to, like, send Necro just in case we went into time. I remember we had, like, 2 minutes left, and he was a little upset that we went into time, but, I mean, it's part of the game, man. I've lost in time. Like, I talk about the big example was whenever I lost in time, and in the 3v3 earlier this year in Vegas, I was really upset because I was playing against the eventual winners, which makes it hurt a little bit more because they ended up winning the whole thing. And we're into game 3, and I max C him. He did only 1 hit, which is 1,000 damage. I max C him, and normally when you max C your opponent, they're going to stop. But since he knew we were low on time, he just goes off. He's like, I don't care how many cards you draw because I'm going to beat you in time. And I would do the same thing. If I was in his shoes, I would do the same thing, and it's just part of the game. That's why, to me, when I lose in time, it's like, it's whatever. It's just part of the game. All right. Round 6. I won the die roll against Robert Scapelli's Frog deck, which I'm pretty sure he was using the same deck list as Nick Wagner, who got 2nd place. Legacy 2-0 him. Now, I will say this. I felt like he stole game 1 from me, but then I stole game 3 from him, so it balanced out. So game 2 was a big game. I think I can't even remember how I won game 2. Game 1 and game 3 were the really good games. I remember because I was sitting facing the crowd, and like everyone was watching our match because we were like one of the last ones to finish, and people said that I was in an unwinnable game. A lot of people who were watching like, dude, that game was unwinnable. And then I ended up top decking return, so I go set return pass, and he couldn't OTK me, and then I had like a value play in the graveyard. I go Caius your back row. Return, double pump for game. So I stole that game. But people didn't watch game 1, but he stole game 1 from me. I was in complete control of game 1, and I felt he stole that game from me, so it kind of evened out. And I Legacy 2-0'd him. This is actually my 2nd time playing him. I played him at the NAWCQ Ultimate Time Wizard a year ago. And exact same matchup. Our decks were a little different back then, but he beat me there. He was my only loss at Austin last year. Now, some of you guys who maybe been watching the channel since last year, I knocked myself out of the tournament because I didn't show up for my match round 7. But technically, I went 5-1 that tournament, and I don't know how I would have done at that one if I would have made it. Maybe I make top 8. We'll never know. All right, round 7 against Rick, playing Bayou. I lost the die roll. I went 5-3 in the die roll on this particular day, which is pretty good. Like sometimes I go like 3-5 in the die roll. Sometimes you underperform in the die roll and you go like 2-6 or 1-7, or you overperform or you go 6-2. You know, that's just variance there. So game 1 was a grindy game, and I think I just knew the volume mirror a little bit better than he did, but it was a really close game 1. But game 2, I think I deck dev'd him, and I knew he had a return, and I got pretty lucky that eventually the turn he set the return, I drew Heavy Storm, and I heavied him before because he was gonna kill me with return the next turn. So I got pretty lucky the second game that I top decked heavy at the right time. So I'm moving on to the bubble with a good chance to. Well, I have to win, and I get paired against a good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time, Philip Campa. We're playing a volume mirror match. Um, but I remember when I sat down, I was thinking, man, if he beats me, he's gonna knock me out of top 8. Versus if I beat him, he should still get into top 8 because he had the best tiebreakers. He should be the highest X2, which he ended up being the highest X2. He got 9th after Swiss. If it wasn't for the draws, he would have got into top 8. Now, hopefully nobody intentionally drew, but sometimes that stuff happens. Game 1, we had a really good game. I don't think he made any mistakes game 1. The only thing I remember about game 1 is that he did the Stardust, negate your own bottomless against me twice. But it was a good game. The only thing now game 2 was the important game because he punted against me game 2. He flipped return and forgot I had a Necro Garden in the graveyard. And after he did it, he like shame scooped because he was gonna lose. But I think would he have won that game? I would say he was winning, but we never know what I was going to draw. But I would say this, he was in the lead before he made that play because I think the play was that I thought he was going to do was just he had a Silverwind, I had a Stardust and like a Necro Garden in the graveyard. I thought he was just gonna attack me with Silverwind and hold the return. That maybe he wins the game. But again, I'll never know what cards I was going to draw. So sad. I wanted to see Campa in top 8, but it is what it is. So I went X1, went 5 and 3 in the die roll, played 2 mirrors. So how good would have Oppression have been? I mean, Oppression would have been good in every matchup except the last 2 rounds. So 6 out of the 8 matchups, Oppression would have been good. What's interesting is Campa main decked Oppression. He drew it against me game 1, but the only time he was able to use it was when he forced my own Stardust. He forced me to negate something with Stardust, and then he oppressed me trying to return Stardust, but I already had a big board, so I don't know what I probably would have gone 4-0 with Oppression in the main deck, but I won game 1, round 4 anyway. So I'm not sure. Anyways, I think the issue is if your goal is to win the tournament, you're gonna run into value and top cut. So do you really want to main deck Oppression? Like that's like kind of like the dilemma. Like Oppression might help you survive the Swiss rounds, but it won't win you the tournament once you get the top cut and you run into more value and Blackwing. So that's kind of like, is your goal to top or is your goal to win? If you put Oppression in your main deck, like I said, it'll help you survive the Swiss rounds. But then in top cut, you're gonna struggle against other value players and Blackwing players who are not main decking Oppression. But then it just comes down to who you get paired against. Like I remember going into top 8 and I heard what the decks were. Like I knew there was a couple of Frog Hero players. I knew there was a Dark Gaia deck because I sat next to him. And my friend Adrian told me that he saw one of the guys was playing like a Monarch deck. And I was thinking, okay, that's probably the one deck that would probably give me the most trouble because like deck dev is not good against a pure Monarch deck. And neither is Oppression. So the only really good card I have in my side deck against him is Dyna. And I only play 2. So what are the odds that I see it game 2 and 3? And, you know, he ended up getting me with, I guess I'll go over that match. I lost the die roll. So overall, I went 5 and 4 in the die roll, a little bit over 50%. Game 1, he went first and he opened pretty good. Like, and the Soul Exchange Substitute hurts really bad. And I just couldn't come back. He just drew insane. He dropped the Chaos Sphere and a couple Monarchs. And like I knew he had Junk Synchron in his hand. My hand wasn't that great, so he won game. I remember it came down to a point where I was thinking about conceding game 1 early, and I was like, but I kept trying to draw out of it, but he won. Game 2, I think I dust shooted him. And the only good card he had in his hand was Gores. The rest of his hand was like he had like a Lad, a Caius, a couple of discard traps. So this game was like I pretty much dominated the second game. But then the third game, I drew kind of bad, and I tried to get him with deck dev. I did put the deck devs in because I really didn't have anything else. So I was kind of like, okay, let me just put the deck devs in just in case. Because I prefer deck dev going second versus going first because at least I can go like normal summon Sirocco, or I can set Sirocco and then deck dev him. So I was like, okay, let's try it. But the one thing I'm going to change is I'm going to start using pulling the rug I'm putting it back in. Even against Frog Hero, I think pulling the rug is really good. And all the Frog decks side and breaker. The Fork deck does the conversion side, so you can rug breaker. So yeah, that's the one thing I learned about this match. But Elijah, he cooked me, man. Like I remember he had a breaker on the field and a swap frog, and I go summon Armageddon Knight, attack your swap frog, and I was shocked because he Regeki braked my Arma. And I was thinking, what? Really? Okay, whatever. And then he bounced back his breaker with swap frog. And I was like, oh no, I'm in trouble. That's when I knew I was like, man, I'm in big trouble. He resummoned the breaker. I had like 3 back rows. One of them was a Solemn Judgment. I was kind of like, I had to solemn this breaker. And I solomed it. And I'm like, yeah, and I just got cooked. But I'm proud of myself for topping. I really wanted to top Indy 3 in a row just because I can kind of brag about me performing well in that convention center for some reason. I don't know what it is, but yeah, all 3 of my Ultimate Time Wizard tops have come in Indy. Nowhere else. I've gone into a bunch of other cities, but only in Indy I've topped. I don't know what it is. And anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that tournament report. I'll be attending RBT Santa Clara here in a couple weeks. Had a blast at Indy. Do I regret playing the Ultimate Time Wizard tournament? Probably no, not really. There's gonna be more RBT, so like the only thing I wish, I said that I would have gone, and I would have gone to RBT had I known it was Pot of Greed, but I don't regret playing the Ultimate Time Wizard. Who knows? Maybe I'm on top 8 at the RBT. We'll never know. Anyways, if you guys haven't already, please consider joining our members only. I'm uploading an extra 2 to 3 videos a week, mostly DB replays, only $2.99 a month. Also have a coupon code for 5% off Yu-Gi-Oh! Singles and product at Epic Cards and Games. All those links are in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time.